Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Ninth class, be alert. Once again, I am with you, and my today's topic is apoptosis and necrosis. Chapter number 5, and once again, focusing on FBISE syllabus. So, I welcome you all in exploring the concepts and, you know, today's video. And apoptosis and necrosis. So, both of the terms are very new to you people and are very, important as well. Being new, so it is important as well. So both of the terms are basically about the processes called the cell death, right? What is a cell death? It means a cell is going to die because we have a lot of cells in our body, and all of the cells, they are ever changing cells. They are the cells which are constantly producing cells. So obviously there are the cells which are obviously have to die in our body. They have completed their task, and now there is no more need of them to be in the body. So system has decided, our body is basically decided this thing, that whether the cell is going to live further or it has to go die, right? So apoptosis, right, and necrosis. So first of all, I want to give you a brief review about apoptosis, the term pronounced as apoptosis, right? So apoptosis is actually a programmed cell death. It means this is this type of cell that which is needed by your body, right? This is for about all of the cells which are old, which have to be die now. They are, they are no more functional, and they are no more helpful to the living system. So for all those cell is body is designed to do this thing in a very systematic, in a very appropriate, and in a very safe way to they tell the cell to now take suicidal attempts, right? So apoptosis is basically, look at this diagram. So in this case, in the case of apoptosis, I mean, right? In this case, this is a normal cell, right? It's a old cell. It's a worn out cell. This is the cell which is under stress. You can say this is the cell which has some virus. It has some infection inside it, right? So it's a cell which is basically has to go for apoptosis. So first of all, the steps which are needing for the process of apoptosis, the cell shrinks, the chromatin condenses, right? The cell is going to shrink. Its original size, there is no more, they are unable to hold the shape of the cell. They are basically shrinking. It means and the cytoskeleton, which are important for the maintenance of the shape of the cell, they get dissolved, right? वो dissolve होना शुरू हो गए, and that is the reason behind the shrinking of the cell. And then another thing is condensation of the chromatin, right? The chromatin, all of the chromosomes, they get condensed, and you all know they have already have shown us the condensation in case of the cell division. But in this time, this is not the case of cell division, but chromosomes are going to do a condensation. The very first step, please keep this in your mind, the first step is shrinking of the cell because of the breakdown of the cytoskeleton, the digestion of the cytoskeleton. Secondly, condensation of the chromatin, right? Then is the cell membrane, the outer cell membrane. You can see the curves, you can find out, you can see the curves throughout the cell membrane. These curves basically are called as blebbing, right? This process is called as blebbing, and all of the organelles, they disintegrate. The organelles inside the cell, they get leaky, and they disintegrated their cell membranes, their biological membranes, they are unable to keep them intact. So blebbing and disintegration of the organelles will take place. Finally, blebbing are, deepen, they will become deepen, and blebs or the buds are formed. Nucleus and organelles collapse, and membrane continue to blebs, and all of the blebs, they got bud off, right? The blebs bud off from the main cell, and they are becoming the apoptotic bodies, right? They form apoptotic bodies. These apoptotic bodies now are engulfed by the macrophages. Macrophages are the white blood cells. They engulf the apoptotic bodies. They जिसको कहते हैं ना ठिकाने लगा देना, so they kill the all of these apoptotic bodies, they digest all of these apoptotic bodies with the help of the enzymes present inside the white blood cells. And these cells are these are with the help of, they do this with the help of lysosomal enzymes, which are numerous inside the white blood cells. And no inflammation, it means that the material present inside these apoptotic bodies are no more harmful for the body, right? Because they have disposed of safely. This is how apoptosis works. The process of apoptosis, cell shrinks and becomes rounded due to the breakdown of cytoskeleton. I already have told you. Chromatin undergoes condensation. Nucleus is spread in the form of several discrete chromatin bodies. Cell membranes makes irregular buds known as blebs, and blebs break off or buds off, and the apoptotic bodies will form, which are phagocytosed further. Once again, I want to go through the process of the apoptosis because it's very important and it's very, sequential, right? It has a very specific sequence. Cell shrinking, then, because this shrinking is because of the breakdown of cytoskeleton. You can make these flowchart on the side of your book as well for easy understanding of the topic. Then condensation of the chromatin will take place, and then breakdown of the nuclear envelope will take place. After the breakdown of the nuclear envelope, the condensation of the chromatin bodies develop into a discrete chromatin bodies. Mine means it has divided into so many small packets and distribute throughout the cell. Then the cell membrane irregular buds, the cell membrane has developed irregular buds called the blebs, and then blebs are bud off into in the form of apoptotic bodies. Finally, these apoptotic bodies get phagocytosed by WBCs. I'm hoping that the process of apoptosis will understand now. And then apoptosis can occur where, what is the importance, what is the practical application of the term, the process apoptosis? When a cell is damaged or undergoes stress conditions, right? एक तो वजह ये है कि cell under stress, why they are under stress, it has some infection, it has some hard blow, it is old, it is worn out, so these can be the reasons. Apoptosis removes the damaged cells, preventing it from getting further nutrients, right? Or to prevent the spread of infection, right? So this is the beneficial, and it is sequential, and it is helpful to the body. It is a safe disposal of the damaged and dead cells. Then apoptosis is basically a programmed cell death. हाउ इट इज़ आइडेंटिफाइड हुआ ये था कि जब ये फ्रॉग्स को स्टडी कर रहे थे, स्पेशली फ्रॉग, बड़ा क्लियरली नज़र आता है कि व्हेन इट हैज़ इट्स लार्वल स्टेजेस, so larval stages have tails while the adults does not have the tails. So फिर उन्होंने सोचा कि कुछ तो ऐसी रीजंस, ऐसी चेंजेस आए इनकी बॉडी में that they have lose their they have lost their tails ना. So a coordinated sequence of events occurred to dismantle a cell. एक सेल को एक कोऑर्डिनेटेड तरीके से ख़त्म किया गया. वो क्या तरीका था? वो एपोप्टोसिस था. Eliminate the excess cells, carving out structures, weeds out aging and defective cells. अब देखो इसकी टेल निकाल दी गई, डिजोल्व हो गई, सारी डिजोल्व कर दी गई. इसी तरह जो हमारी फिंगर्स थी बिफोर आर बर्ड, it was like a pad, and then later on it has a web inside between the fingers, and all these cells, they get digested through the help of apoptosis, and we got our hand like this, right? So this is its practical application. But if someone has failed to do the apoptosis, if somebody has failed to do the apoptosis, then you can see the fused fingers in this foot and the fused fingers in the hand of this baby. So advantageous during development, as you all know, and if during the formation of the fingers, the cells between them undergo apoptosis and the digits get separate. So this is the importance of apoptosis. Now let's discuss the next point, that is necrosis. The word necrosis means the blackening, right? The blackening of the tissue. Accidental death of cells and living tissues. So first of all, the cell is going to die, and then later on, first of all, the intracellular material get die, and then the cell, and then the tissues. So it's a, it's a less sequential, although it's a less sequential process, but it is more damaging as compared to, obviously it is damaging to the other tissues as well, because the inflammable material, it does not cap inside the cell, it is coming out of the damaged, dead, or infective cells. So look at this diagram. This is that brown, scar, and these brown scars is basically showing you the necrotic tissue, right? This necrotic tissue is because of the poison of some poisonous spider bite, right? That is the spider bite, and this basically showing you the necrosis of a tissue, right? And it has to take some specific medicine to to clear all, or antidote, as an antidote to clear all of the poison from that spider. And look at this, if in this finger, this may has got some wound in this finger, and then later on he does not take care of that, and finally he got this necrosis in the tissue, right? So this is how necrosis is very, accidental, although it is accidental, but it is very painful as well. Now necrosis is basically less sequential than apoptosis. जैसे आपने देखा ना, उससे पहले shrink हुआ, फिर फलानी कंडेंसेशन हुई, फिर ये हुआ, फिर वो हुआ. इसमें ऐसा नहीं हुआ. It does not wait for all of the thing to settle inside the cell. ऐसा नहीं होता. जैसे ही कोई एक सेल डेड, किसी एक सेल में कोई इन्फेक्शन हो गया या कुछ हुआ, तो उसमें क्या हुआ कि फौरी तौर पे सेल्स की मेम्ब्रेन बर्स्ट कर जाती हैं. So that what is bad about it. So, causes of necrosis include injury, infection, cancers, etc. May occur when a cell is given hypoxic environment. So, आप कब किसी cell को hypoxic condition दोगे? Whenever body is considering any foreign material in the body, it is taking any cell in the body. Like for example, in case of kidney transplant, जब हम कोई किडनी बाहर से लेके अपनी बॉडी में लगाते हैं, then what does it mean? It means that the kidney is, not the part of your body, it is the part of another's body. So our body is considering or is taking it as a foreign material, so it does not allow the allow this new kidney to take the nutrients and oxygen from our body, so they deprived of all these things to that the foreign cell. So that is why cell is given a hypoxic environment. It's very important as well. Obviously, if some infection has occurred in our body, if they have found bacteria or other microorganisms in our body, this mechanism is very helpful and important for us, obviously, but not in case of transplants. So this is how its process going on. It's a normal cell. It's basically it's a normal cell, right? Okay, then swelling of endoplasmic reticulum in mitochondria. All of the organs they get swell, and then the membranes get the blebs, as we have seen the blebs formed in the apoptosis as well, and progressive injury, breakdown of the plasma membrane, organelles, nucleus leakage, and everything. Although an inflammation will cause the movement of the macrophages or the white blood cells towards this cell, is basically showing you the presence of inflammation inside the cell, and this material is obviously, it's a necrotic material, and it is going to help the other, the other cells also. It is going to damage the other cells as well because of the removal of this harmful material. The necrotic process further release of special enzymes from lysosomes. Their lysosomes, the lysosome in case of apoptosis, they intact their membranes. They did not, they did not get burst. But in case of necrosis, lysosomal enzymes break cellular components and release the outside cell to break the surrounding cells as well. Cells that die by necrosis may also release harmful chemicals that damage other cells, which we have seen in the last diagram as well. Now look at this diagram. Look at this diagram. This is the case of spider bite, and this is how if someone is not taking care of the wound, right? So the cell will become damaged, and the tissue will become necrotic, right? So necrosis, it's an both of them, although are natural processes, but as far as apoptosis is concerned, it's a natural cell death which is needed by the body. But sorry, apoptosis is the natural cell death which is needed by the body, while necrosis is it is, once again, it's a natural, but it is not sequential. It is harmful to the body tissues. And it is also obviously going to tell you that there is a mechanism in your body going on if you are not taking care of your body. Then the difference between apoptosis and necrosis, which is very, very important. The difference between the two can be the part of your paper. So it's a normal cell, condensation of the chromatin, membrane blubbing, no condensation is needed in this case, but the swelling of the organelles, right? And blubbing is there. Then apoptotic cellular fragmentation and apoptotic bodies will form. And in this case, there is no apoptotic bodies, but the bursting of the cell membranes and the breakdown of the plasma membranes, organelles, and other contents. In this case, phagocytosis will take place with the help of macrophages, but there is the macrophages will come to help the inflammation, to secure the inflammation. Let's take another difference between through the words. You need to write the sentences of all these things. Size, cellular swelling, cellular shrinkage. In necrosis, many cells affected, but in apoptosis, only one cell get affected. Cell content ingested by macrophages, but cell content ingested by neighboring cells. And then in a significant inflammation, no inflammatory process. Loss of membrane integrity, membrane blubbing, but integrity maintained. Apoptotic bodies form, cell lysis occur. Mitochondria release, there is no need to write these points for ninth class. Chromatin condensation and non-random DNA degradation, random degradation of DNA, right? कुछ पता नहीं, सारा कुछ टूट फूट के आप इसमें से कोई से 3 4 points आप लिख लो, अच्छे से बना लो, because it's a very important and done question, that necrosis, difference between necrosis and apoptosis. Both of them are natural processes going on in our body, but apoptosis in case of healthy body, necrosis in case of a damaged or diseased body. So all the best from my side. I'm hoping कि आपको ये बात समझ आ गई है, topic समझ आ गया है. We will discuss any other point if you want. So keep writing me in the comments, and please take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.